Now, is there a philosophical side to cycling? I think there is. Now, let me just put to one side before I start what a cyclist is. There's a type of cyclist who is 6 foot two, 11 stone, built like a walking pencil, who can cycle 120 miles a day no problem at all, has a VO2 in the 50s or 60s or above, and is basically a machine on a bike. I'm not one of them, and it's not about that. Those guys are ultra athletes, and I'm not. So my philosophy of cycling is for normal people who get on a bike and always go a bit further than they mean to, or a bit faster than they mean to. And on a lovely sunny day, and there's not many of them, cannot resist going cycling, quite often on their own. And that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the philosophy of cycling. I think the philosophy of cycling is about freedom, escape, and really focusing on one thing, and that's just to keep on going on the bike. Maybe that's all there is to say about it, but when I get out there, the feeling of freedom is extraordinary. You can go anywhere you want, in your own time. You can push yourself, you can take it easy, and the only limit on the whole process is basically your body. And part of the philosophy is a struggle, because for me at any rate, even the slightest hill or any distance beyond 90 minutes, and that's any distance beyond 30 miles, is hard. And when you're going up a hill, and you're my weight and my size, hills are very, very hard. And then there's the coming back, the return, where you're very often bonking, you're well beyond your physical limit. And you just have to keep going, because there's no option. And that builds strength of character, obviously builds a bit of physical endurance, although I can't say that I ever get any better. I just, it's always tough. But it does give you a stronger mind, and you can surprise yourself, I suppose. I don't surprise myself. I'm surprised I'm not better than I am. But you could surprise yourself. I did have a month last July, where I thought I'd try 500 miles in a month. And again, for a proper cyclist, that's nothing. That's a week. But for me, it's massive. I mean, it equates to 10, 50-mile rides. Now, I'm lucky if I can do one of those a week. So to do 10 in a month. And I got to the end of the month, and it was a wet day in July. It was warm but wet. And I couldn't even walk up the stairs. I was so tired. And I thought, I'm not going to manage it. I needed to do 40 miles to get over the 500. And I went to my bed and I slept all day. And I got up at 6 o'clock in the evening. And it was going to be light till 10 p.m. And at 6 p.m. I thought I could maybe have a go at this. And I got on my bike and I cycled out, and I did a long Friday evening. Remember, most people are out socialising in the pub. I'm on my bike on my own in a kind of dark, grey, drizzly sort of evening, although it was quite warm. And I managed the first 10, 15 miles, and I came to a very long hill called the Slug Road. It's called the Slug Road because it's a really slow road. And I cycled up this Slug Road, maybe a mile up a 6% gradient, and I made it. And I came to the bottom of another hill, which is just before a place called Knockburn Loch. And this is another 6, 7, 8% hill. It takes about 20 minutes. I got up that, down the other side. And I ended up doing about 55 miles. And in fact, the last 15 miles, a place called Bankery to Aberdeen, I sprinted. I just flew in faster than ever. I don't know where it came from, because early in the day I couldn't even stand up. I was so tired. And I ended up, I think, at 515, 520 miles. And that was an example of what you can do when you really want to do it. I've come nowhere near doing that again. But I did do it. So that's my philosophy of cycling. It's about just pushing yourself and just. Another thing about cycling is it settles the mind. We're all live in a state of constant mental anxiety, mental agitation, mental overactivity. But with cycling, it's just a slow process. It's not like driving a car. You're only ever going to manage to go at 15, 20, 25 miles an hour. And you've got to settle into that fact that it's going to take a long time and a long, hard time. And you're in it for the duration. And you have to settle your mind to that. You have to shut your mind down. Just accept it's going to take a long time. No distractions, just you and the bike and the road. And I'll leave it there just now.